guys, my name is and welcome to unMadeGaming. You didn't see a technical difficulty, I didn't either. We are here for episode 2 of Blood on the Reik, and yes, we are down a different person. It's actually just going to be musical chairs the entire time. We're going to switch out one person randomly to not be here. God forbid the day it's Simon's turn. But until then, we are here with Sheepdog, we are here with the Wandering DM, we are here with the tweeter of Vecna himself. And we are missing one Cherry Bob-omb who is stuck in an airport right now, heading to, I want to say, PAX, but I could be wrong. So let's just jump right into things. So Simon, take us away. Me too.
Whose name is in my notes, and I haven't got my notes up.
Graf von Brunner.
That's the one.
Ehrlich von Brunner.
Most of us complained. Some of us were a bit more neutral because they don't want to get in trouble with the people in charge. The mayor, who is a old adventurer, asked us to go and meet and hopefully engage the services of a priestess, I want to say. A nun, maybe?
Well, he said it was a priest, not knowing it was actually a woman.
Yes.
But yeah, a priest of Verena.
Priest of Verena. And we agreed but wanted money. So he gave us a gold ring, which... sorry, I'm trying to...
Clementia.
Decided to sell for a couple of silver, like half of it I think she sold for a couple of silver when it's worth a couple of gold. Whatever, it's cool. We don't need money. No one needs weapons. It's fine. And we had a night of drinking. We had a scene of trouser washing and bare butt full frontal nudity from Anders. Then we set off in the rowboat, in a little boat, to head up the river. It went perfectly. There were no problems. We got there. One almost killed themselves by, I think, was it?
River after you scratch yourself with a rusty knife and almost ended up with the galloping trots.
Yep. Yes, I rolled really well last session, actually. And then when we finally got to the place, we sat down, we had some fish. Anders sold me a fish. Anders cooked me a fish. And then we heard a kerfuffle up the road. Going to investigate, we found it was the priestess being attacked by some undead zombies. Everyone proceeded to either be frozen in fear or run away horrifically after charging in heroically. Gangolf, myself, engaged the zombies, rolled really well, and killed one outright with a wooden plank with a nail in it.
That's impressive.
Anders ran back to the fire because he was scared. Ran back with a
tactical retreat.
Tactical retreat. He ran back with a flaming torch or something, I believe, and proceeded to assist Gangolf in finishing the other zombie. The third zombie was run over by the cart, and Clementia helped the priestess get out of the cart. I think the cart kind of kept going and flipped over.
Flipped over a few yards away.
Yeah.
Do you remember the name of that priestess?
Nope.
No.
That's okay. I have it here. That's why I'm asking. Gertrude.
Gertrude.
Yep.
I will say, for those of us in the Zoom call, there's a link in the Zoom chat, and I'll put it in the Twitch chat as well. Prax had made the Fish Pants Ale distillery or brewery, I guess. So she spent hours making a barrel of fish pants ale, which I couldn't be more excited about. So that is some of the artwork from last week's game, the fish pants ale.
I like this. It says chaos, like instead of chaos.
There's a typo, yeah.
It makes it look like choirs.
It does say chaos.
So it's the best defense against the ravages of choirs. You got to watch out for those choirs, guys.
Judging by how the laws are in the Reik, that could be real. That could be a thing.
Yeah, it could. Yep. But while this was all happening north of Sedlung, near the crossroads, we're gonna just take a peek at what happened south of Sedlung, about a half an hour away from the village, in a little hut down by the road near the woods. There lives. I don't know what I'm talking past tense. There lives an elf. You died. You weren't there, but you died. There lives an elf wizard, and a bit like I asked everyone during the first episode to describe your character. Can you tell me what do you look like, and what is a typical day for you?
My typical day is usually trying to stealthily collect the reagents needed for spells, because a great number of them have been made illegal and or highly taxed since the lovely leader of this area has put some new laws into place. And so much so, these things cost so much now. His house has kind of fallen into ruin because he's spending money on that instead. It's also worth noting my character is only 52 years old, which is pretty young for an elf. And he is 6'6". Yep, that's what I rolled, 52 for the age. So yeah, he's a little baby elf.
Wow.
And it's also worth noting that he spent a great number of his developmental years with humans, so he isn't always as elfy as elves normally are.
Oh, so you lost sort of some of your oddiness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
This morning,
that's what happens when you...
This morning, when you were out and about hunting for reagents, your second sight went off. The second sight, for those that don't know, is the ability of all spellcasters. In order to be able to do magic, you have to be able to see the winds of magic, and this is something you, as a wizard and even as an elf, are used to see. The winds of magic emanate from the North Pole in 8 different colors, each one tied to a circle of magic, right? But there is a 9th one. The mix of all those 8 winds. Normally, elven high mages, can manipulate all 8 winds at once, which is something that every elven apprentice aspires to. Mm-hmm. However, when someone else tries to do it, it tends to not go well. Whereas you would call elven high magic white magic. The wind that you feel blowing through this part of the Reikland this morning is Dar, the black wind. It is bone-chilling and completely silent. It moves about invisibly over the land, but you can see it. You can see this. It looks like a translucent cloud that just clings to everything. It moves through the woods and yet stays stuck like on a spider's web to the trees, to the plants, to the animals. You know, because you've lived here for a while, that there are some places around, especially in this region, that used to, be tainted by black magic. Humans are one to do lot of stupid things with magic.
Really stupid things.
Really stupid things. But this region wasn't affected that much, yet you feel the wind this morning, and you feel the pull of the wind. It is stronger to the north. Whatever happened or is happening, there is a conflux of Dar, either in Sledlung or further north in Sledlung.
Well, I will take my little dagger and my staff, and I'm going to head out as stealthily as I can.
All right. Your neck of the woods isn't really the most dangerous part of the area. I mean, if you know, because you've explored around that, the further away you go, the further west you go near the mountains, you risk encountering probably goblins, wolves, wild animals. But the way from your hut to Sledlung is relatively safe. I am going to ask you to roll a stealth check nonetheless.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to be stealthy because I'm feeling this bad juju wind, and I don't know what up. So let's see what happens. Submit.
So stealth. If you have a
I'm so stealthy.
Specialty, you fail. Now would be a good time to remind everyone about fortune points. Remember, you have fortune points that you can use to reroll, and resolve points that you can use to become immune to fear for a while, or remove a condition, or ignore a crit. Otherwise, you can burn the points permanently. Fate, we've talked about it, it's to avoid dying. Resilience is to avoid getting corrupted or gaining mutations. Remember, these work fortune and resilience. Fortune and resilience is, they come back every, is it resilience or resolve? Anyway, 2 of them come back every game sessions, and the other ones are permanent.
Fortune and resolve come back.
Fortune and resolve come back. Thank you. So you walk around you try to remain, within the canopy of the trees, and, not stray too far away from the tree line. Keep the tall grasses. Try to make sure that you are not spotted by anything. And at some point, you just hear a, "Oi! What are you doing in my field?" And there's this farmer just looking at you as you're trying to creep through his field. Potentially, you probably got lost at some point and just veered too much into one of the farms, and you just look like someone was about to steal vegetables or something.
Oh, sorry, sir. I think I was supposed to take a left there, and I took a right. I'll be going.
Yeah, you do that.
And then I scurry off.
And you realize, due to your height, that, no matter how bent you would have been, how crouched you would have been, your head or your ears would have poked out, regardless of his whatever is in his field. You make your way to Sledlung, and you arrive in town to see a crowd amassing itself near the center of town. There's hub going about. Seems like the town either got a new visitor or something just happened, and everyone just went out to see what's happening. Before we move on to what's happening in the crowd, let's just move further up north for a second. Last night, the 3 zombies have fallen. Gertrude is safe with you. Remember, the last words she spoke last episode were, "I think you may have an infestation."
I was trying to forget that. So the cart is overturned. 3 zombies are dead. We're here. Yep. We have a small fire with at least 1 burnt fish on it, I think.
And 2 horses and a rowboat.
Okay. It's like a fucking Monty Python movie. Do we? I guess so. Anders, it's nighttime, right? It's like full on. We're camping here in a zombie infested forest. Okay, dope, cool. That's my favorite thing to do. I think rather than make shelter, Anders would posit to the group. Oi, you think we could get that up? And he points to the with his atrocious accent. He points to the carriage that is overturned. Can we lift that?
What? Just us?
I mean, I'm not seeing anyone else around.
I don't think I'm very strong, Mr. Anders.
I mean, from what I heard, you cleaved that zombie's head right off.
Well, I think that was a lucky throw, really.
Oh. Well, it was our all, so.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh. Whoa. What? We could just, like, crouch in it, maybe, instead of just getting it back up and, like, stay there.
What about taking it back in the morning?
I think maybe we might need people out here to help us, like, if we want to get it back.
Oh, right. Hold on. Hello? Is anybody out there? Hello?
I think that's probably a bad idea. If
as you say.
Oh, God damn it, Simon.
As you yell about, you do hear branches crack in the woods. You're not sure where it comes from, but it echoes in the darkness.
Oh, bugger.
Oh, God damn it. Well, hopefully they're coming out. And then we can...
Nothing's coming out for the moment.
I think maybe we should be quiet.
All right, what if... Are there two doors on this carriage that's overturned? I assume it's on its
picture,
side,
like,
right?
if you remember
like a foot coach, right?
Yeah, basically that's what it is, yeah.
Yeah. He says, all right, if we go this way, we open the top door. Everyone hops inside, and we close the top door. We at least have somewhere safe to sleep with only one entrance and one exit. So if it lights on fire, we're dead.
Why would it light on fire?
I don't think it would light on fire, but I'm just saying.
Also, if more zombies do come, then we have nowhere to run. And I remember you like running, don't you, Mr. Anders?
Right, but I like protection as well.
Right. But protection isn't very good if the zombies come in, because they'll be in the way of the going out.
Right. But if we lock the door, they can't get in.
Really?
It's open.
I didn't know you were so good at science, Mr. Anders.
He's nailing it so far. Well, option one is we sleep here under the stars. Option two is we sleep in a cot.
Okay, yeah, I like the cot. Maybe I could, like, barricade the door or something. Sure. I don't think I can, but...
Yeah, with your tools you brought with you.
I didn't bring my tools.
I know.
What kind of boat has only one oar?
A shite one. That's what one has.
But as you say this, you realize you could easily at least lock the door down using the oar. As a makeshift bar. So the door would be barred. Just, you remember, in case you guys don't remember from last week, but the zombies, the coach doesn't have any windows. There are holes in it, and they were trying to reach in through these holes.
Right. I did not remember that.
It does have zombie gunk on it. The oar.
No, the real oar.
Oh, the real oar. Did we bring that with us?
Yeah, it's in the boat.
What?
We're by the boat, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're by the fire, I would assume, which is not that far from the cart.
Well, Gertrude and Clementia come back, because remember, they were farther away, looking at the body of the dwarf. And Gertrude says, I thank you very much for the timely rescue. Who are you?
My name's Anders. We're a bunch of nobodies, and glad we could save you.
Well, Sir Anders, you're not a bunch of nobodies.
Sir Anders.
You've done a great service to the Church of Verena. I'm sure. I'm sure whoever you are and whatever your status is in life, that the gods watch over you. I was making my way to Sterling Manor. Do you think I can? Is it far away? I don't know the area at all. I was counting on my coachman to guide me.
Do we know the area at all?
Yes, you do. And if you don't have the map up, basically you are at the crossroads north of Sledlung. If she had kept going south, you would have reached Sledlung in about 4 hours on foot. Maybe, let's say, 2-3 hours on horseback, depending on how fast you're going. And by the river, well, of course, now you wouldn't be going upstream, you'd be going downstream. So you can say that it's a good maybe hour and a half at most, unless you guys manage to fuck that up.
Give me a shot, I'll do it.
Otherwise,
Is that a challenge, Simon?
Maybe. Sterling Manor is farther away, but you have to take the forest road to go there. So it's about a day away.
Now, is this is the person we were told to bring to Sledlung, right?
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, this is for a fact. And the directions were pretty vague, which was go meet with this person, bring them to Sledlung. It didn't say anything about kidnapping this person or taking them to Sledlung against their will, right?
The Victor, the town elder, what he said is tried to convince them to come to Sledlung instead of going to the manor. The priest is supposed to be officiating some sort of like decrees or what have you, and he would like the priest to come to the aid of the village first and to try to make sense of all these like stupid laws and how they can reverse them or try to protect themselves against the Graf and everything that's been happening, since no one in Sledlung is, law savvy.
Got it. In that case, I think Anders looks to her and says, "Now, Mum, I'm a fisherman. This is this young man here is Gangolf, and he's a Gangolf. What are you? What are you?"
I'm Gangolf.
Hi, I think I got that before.
He's exactly right. And then we have the young miss here, and he points to Clementia.
Yeah.
And you see, we came in. Point is, we're not transit, and I figure we could probably lift this cart, and we could probably get it on its way. But I don't know if we can make it through the forest path by boat or by land with this. If you come back to Sledlung with us, it's only a few hours away. We'll get you a new coach. We'll get you a new driver, perhaps. We'll have you meet the town master, and he can set you right up. I'm sure. A woman of the cloth. He wouldn't leave out to drink like this.
If I had my tools, I could maybe fix the thing. My tools are back at town.
Exactly.
Oh, you're a Wainwright.
No, I'm an engineer.
Oh well, that's so much better.
I fix things.
I've worked with the Guild of Engineers in Uberstrike.
I'm an apprentice.
Oh.
Don't say it like that.
Wow.
Well, remember your status rank?
Yeah, I do.
Something like brass. So, you could be useful, but you're just an apprentice. It's okay. That's pretty much what her meant. She looks to both of you and says, "Well, I wouldn't want to stay here tonight. It wasn't the first incident. Do you know if your village has a local hedge wizard, a hedge witch, perhaps, or a wise man?"
Yeah, I mean, I would assume there's plenty of hedges around the town. Great tall ones, little ones,
that
sharp
yes.
ones.
Perhaps your village elder or mayor would know of someone. There are different types of hedges.
I do know one. I've worked with him a couple of times.
An actual hedge wizard.
Yeah. He's great.
Oh. Well, better than nothing, I guess. I'll take my things if... All right, I'll follow you to your village. There's no point in us staying overnight here, and you'll be in as much danger as I am. There's nothing much I can do. I'm not talented like certain of my brothers and sisters are in the divine arts of miracles. So I'd rather be far enough away. Borin here was the combatant between the two of us.
Anders points to the plank that or somewhere near Gandalf, I assume. He says, "Can you row, Mum?"
But we have horses.
2. Also, I've never been on a horse before. I don't like horses.
Right. Same.
Oh.
We have a boat.
Well.
Boat.
It floats.
All right, let me just grab my things. And she sets the horses free. She grabs what is essentially a big, like an oversized sling bag.
I very quickly, did Clementia go over the dead dwarf or the zombies? Did any of us like go over them quickly to loot?
No.
I'd like to have a quick look.
Yeah, I think Anders will like escort the priestess over to the cart. And then when she gets her stuff, you just see his ass end just rummaging through stuff, sticking out of the porthole at the top of it.
So here's what you can find. Do you actually loot the zombies? Do you go through and like rifle through their pockets and everything?
I wouldn't go near the zombies really, no. But the dwarf, if I get a moment when she's like wandered off, I'm just gonna stay here and see what I'll need for repairs for this coach for later. Mm-hmm. You guys go off and and then as soon as she's gonna like rush over to the dwarf, I'm like.
So the dwarf has a dwarf-sized leather jacket.
Okay.
Which would need to. It's way too wide for. It could actually be probably retrofitted to fit both of you.
Yeah.
Like just cut in half and have a jack for both of you.
How big are dwarves?
They're wide.
They're very, very wide
Jesus.
in this world. Their arms are basically that wide, and that's not a very strong dwarf. That's like average.
Like gorilla men. Christ.
They're basically squares.
Okay.
Just they don't really have necks.
Like wandering around.
Wow.
It's if you have the PDF open, just search for the Slayer.
I'm gonna have to now. Fuck.
Yeah, so he has a warm coat, which is waterproof. Fingerless gloves, a whip, and you notice that he has a pouch with 5 shots and powders left, but no signs of a firearm.
I will take the shots and powders, and if I have the time, I'd like to jump into the carriage to see if there's a gun in there.
Oh yeah, I assume you also searched the coach, and no, there are no firearms anywhere. You notice, however, Gandalf, that the seat where the coachman is supposed to sit, nearby to what would have been his right, there's soot, and it smells faintly of gunpowder. He probably fired at something that was on his right at some point, but didn't have the firearm with him when you found him.
He must have dropped it, and it's out there in the zombie woods.
Now we have zombies with guns. Now we're all screwed. The worst possible outcome.
It's.
We get lucky and they eat them instead?
Well, it's most likely empty, and zombies don't have the manual dexterity necessary to reload a firearm. So they'd probably just club someone to death with it. meaning that the cannon would probably get bent, and thus the gun would be rendered unusable.
See, now what I'm thinking right now is that there's a gun just up the road where those noises were happening, and I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna get it, and then Simon's gonna be like, "It is bent and useless."
Yeah. And then the zombies pop out.
Or yeah, that's it. Or the only thing is we cut to a black screen that says you died.
Yeah. It's dangerous and it's not worth my life, so bugger it. And I the only thing I take, because everything else is way too obvious, is the shot and bullets.
And he has also, I forgot, he has a dagger that was kept in the coach.
Nice.
I'll take the dagger too. Yeah,
go for it. In the meantime, Anders is getting the boat ready to the best of his ability with whatever materials are left for that boat.
Yeah, she loads her bag in at the rear of the boat, and you can hear there seems to be something or a lot of metal objects in it, and the sound it makes when she brings it down in the rowboat, it sounds like it's pretty heavy, like cast iron or something of the sort.
Okay. Is that suspicious at all?
Not necessarily, but she has, like, I mean, she's carrying a bunch of heavy stuff. Yeah. You can ask her if you want to. You can try to rummage through her stuff.
No, he's as God-fearing a man as any, but, you know, it's more of, I think he would hear, like, the loud, like, clunk of it coming down, and he looks to her and says, is that going to float, ma'am?
Well, hopefully your boat will float. This would sink, and I would be remiss if I were to lose all my things. These are part of, let's call it an altar.
Ah. You call it whatever you like. Just want to make sure it floats. And he finishes packing the boat. And then I think he gets in towards, like, the back of the boat where she put her gear down with one oar and the nailed piece of wood that he is. And he's just going to try to do it himself.
For the record, unless you went to get the nailed piece of wood, it's still in that zombie.
Yeah, he would have gone to get it. There's only one oar, so he would have to do something. This isn't a canoe.
Well, but you're also going downriver, so you can just use the one oar to orient the boat.
That's true. That's true.
And keep yourself more or less straight.
So
it's something that you as a riverman knows how to do.
Yeah.
But that Gangolf would probably screw up.
Perfect.
Yeah,
that's a great description.
And so you make your way back to Sledlung, to go, you know, to in the interest of time, what I'll say is she'll have a room at the tavern. She pays for it, everything. You all go to sleep because it's middle of the night, not an hour to be up and about, and Victor's asleep. And the next morning you are awakened by the sounds of a crowd outside. Like a gathering. Murmurs have the sound of murmurs has gotten louder and louder as more and more people gather outside of the tavern, and you can hear shouts of "Who is this? What's happening?" and some such. It's not rabble.
Right.
It's more like we are curious, and it's like the circus came into town.
I think given the importance of the new guest, especially in the shitty tavern we're all sleeping in, Anders comes down. He wakes up early and comes down. His leather pants are already wet, as if he had like a water bowl brought to his room so he could wash his pants. Because there's a new lady priest in town. You got to have clean pants for a lady priest.
Oh,
can't.
You remind me, I didn't describe her real quick. She's wearing a light gray robe under a dark brown cloak. Her hair, or her blonde hair, is braided and lifted up into buns, like the Princess Leia's headdress. And she only has this one medallion on a rope. Twine, I should say, and it's a silver depiction of the head of an owl, which is the symbol of Verena.
in that case, the more perceptive people would notice the wet pants and a fancy-ass pair of leather shoes.
Today is a holiday.
Today is fancy shoe day, you know? Not just any day.
It is the day. When you go outside, you notice that the crowd has gathered around a pulpit that is being put together by Gertrude. And amongst the crowd, towering over everyone, is this strange elf person whom you've seen from time to time in the village. He comes and goes. He doesn't necessarily talk to everyone. Would you, by any chance, I'm not going to refer to you as elf all the time, Galarian? Is that your name?
Yep.
So, Galarian, would you have by any chance purchased fish in town, or are you strictly vegetarian?
You know what? I do fish.
So, Anders, you've probably met and talked briefly with this strange persona that is way too tall to fit in this world. And
I have the best food. I have the best fish in town. Ask anyone.
Yep.
Only 1 day old.
They'll tell you otherwise. If you ask anyone, they'll tell you something else, but they're liars.
It's all lies.
Because I'm the best, and that's what they got to do. They got to make up lies so they can outsell how great my fish are.
And Gangolf, I assume you get up later than at the break of dawn to the sound of the murmurs. Well, not the murmurs anymore, but the sound of people being actually amazed. And for those of the two of you, Galarian and Anders, outside, you notice that she also has put up, and that was probably what the cast iron was, there's like a candelabra that she's put up that has on it a sort of elaborate scale. On one side, a skull, and on the other side, a figure of an owl. And it's all like pieces, all made of iron that she just puts up, like this contraption next to the pulpit. She lights up a few candles on the pulpit. You notice that it's been probably used often. The pulpit itself is fragile, I guess. It's not thick wood or anything by any chance. There's probably something under it to hold it up that she must have borrowed from someone, and this is just like dressing over it.
The macabre statue that she's erecting here, that's run-of-the-mill Verena stuff, right? That's not like something weird?
So you're not well versed in religion, are you, Anders?
I don't think so. I don't think I'm like trained in religion, if that's your asking.
Which is probably why I'm describing it that way.
Okay, that's perfect.
To get you to, doubt whatever you want.
Because I'm as ignorant as Anders is, so I have no idea what's going on. Yeah.
And it's something that's normal in the old world. I mean, you would know, you would recognize the symbols of Sigmar. You have a chapel in town that's dedicated to Sigmar. That's where everybody goes on Sundays to pray or what have you.
Yeah, and I'm a fan of Talonria, so...
Talonria that you know as well. Yeah. But in her case, I mean, the statue of the owl that she put up does look like the one she wears around her neck.
Okay.
But that's about all... the only link you could have. Mm-hmm. And everyone's half afraid, half curious about it. And a lot of people try to approach her, and she just rebuffs them as she does her things silently, methodically. She opens up a book, gets out an inkwell with a pen, and she takes her time. This whole setup takes about 3 hours. And by the time the sun has risen enough, everyone should be up and about doing their things. The entire town of Sledlung just stopped breathing and is just looking at her. Gangolf, you notice Galarian, and Galarian, you notice Gangolf. The priestess of Verena singled you out, Galarian, as she's putting up her thing. She pointed at you, and she mouthed the words, "Later."
He just kind of shakes his head, nervously.
You notice that the Dar has clung to her as well. The Black Wind.
Yeah.
And so Victor comes up to her and starts explaining to the crowd, all the grievances that were mentioned during the first episode. He's basically asking all of you to vent out your frustrations to her. And he thanks her profusely for coming here. And you see she's a bit... I'm not going to say angry, but she's a bit miffed about the fact that she was, ambushed, probably by Victor early this morning, and asked to do this. It was probably not her first intention, but she's doing it nonetheless. And everyone's venting out all of their things. And the more people talk, the more you realize that she's just overwhelmed with the amount of inane decrees and laws that makes no sense, that should not have been. And at some point, she just quiets the whole crowd and says, these frustrations that you have, these laws, they should not have been put in motion. This is not how things are done. This is not fair, and this is not just. There are no wars. You do not need to contribute to any army, to any outfits. And I doubt that the standing Reikland army needs nails that bad. I doubt as well that most of you have anything to contribute to the Graf's wealth. This is just him scraping for brass pennies. You said, and she turns to Victor, you said that he wanted to impress the city of Ubersreik. Victor goes, yes, ma'am. And I think I should head out to Ubersreik. I have a few things to attend to in town, but these laws of yours, you should not follow them anymore. They are illegal. And by the holy word of Verena, I declare them as such. Any one of you taken to a court of law and tried for not following these laws have the blessing of Verena. Your Graf is not just. Your Graf is maybe going through some things. I will see to it that the truth comes out and that you are repaid this injustice. And the crowd erupts in cheers. You notice, all three of you, that a lot of the enforcers have just been hanging back far away from the crowd. Fraulein Rosa among them, just arms crossed, looking at her with like knives in their eyes. They're probably going to be out of a job soon. After the whole setup is done and the crowd disperses, as she starts unmaking her things, she motions to Galarian to come forward, and she points out to both Anders and Gangolf, waves, and motions you to come.
I timidly come forward.
Was she motioning for us or just for...
For us, too. For you too, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll shuffle forward. You're muted.
I was muted. You're right. Anders is
a wizard
sitting...
has cast a spell of confusion on me.
I am so quiet. What happened? He is sitting with like one leg, kind of posted up next to him, and he realizes that he's being summoned, and he begins to like pull one pant leg down, and you can see that there is a series of scabs that he was picking off of where he jammed his foot into the pier to get the wooden board, and he kind of stands up and stuffs off some of the water on his wet pants, and then you see him just, and then he begins to walk forward.
Class act.
Listen,
But
you
it's
want to
true.
make me a poor person.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
And I rolled just the
These
worst
things were
stats.
rolled, yeah.
So like,
It's okay. You're actively playing the part of a peasant. When the three of you approach her, she looks at Gangolf and Enders and says, I wager this is the person you were talking about?
Yes, that's Gale.
Gale.
Hi.
I'm Gertrude.
You're a master
Sister
of
Gertrude.
topiary, yeah?
He's not that kind of edge, Mr. Enders.
I'm a wizard's apprentice. I am trained.
Oh,
I'm not simply a hedge wizard who simply, picked up one or two spells.
oh. I never thought Sledlum could afford the services of a wizard. Even an apprentice such as yourself. These little towns normally don't have the means to pay for one's tuition.
If things hadn't gone the way they'd gone, I probably wouldn't be here.
You and I both. Now, well, the two gentlemen here can also confirm my story, but it seems like there's something afoot in the region. We were beset, my coachman and I, a day and a half ago the first time, and then a day ago again. Last night, in fact, by vile undead creatures that came out of the woods, wearing the uniform of some of these militiamen over there. Would you have seen or felt anything of the sort lately?
There was a dark wind that came in last night. It's on you.
Yes, well, I've had a few brushes with them creatures. And you notice that the wind clung a bit to Anders and Gangolf, though it's dispersing over time, and even on ours.
Is it dispersing on the priestess or just them?
The priestess too, but she's been affected more because she's been, if her story is true and she's encountered them multiple times, then yeah, it would make sense that she's been in contact with the Dar more often.
Mm-hmm. And does the Dar work like other winds where certain materials can ward them? I'd recommend wearing what repels Dar.
Because I know like you can lot of things that would successfully repel it. Not a whole lot of things. A lot of it is superstition because the Dar, unfortunately, is it's all the winds coalesced into one, but not purified. Hence why it's called the black wind instead of the white wind. A lot of the things that would protect you from evil spirits like demons and necromancy, you can try salt. Often to just have a unbroken line of salt around your house can ward the Dar off. A good it's a superstition, but there's a bit of truth to it, which is to sprinkle salt over your shoulders and not throw it over your shoulders, but just sprinkle it on your shoulders would help clean off the effect. But the best way is to honestly just try to avoid it altogether.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of people do this. They do it for the wrong reason. If you just put some salt on yourself, salt bath, salt on your shoulders, don't throw it over, put it on. It'll help get the wind off of you.
These magical practices have always made very little to no sense, but I've seen them at work, and I believe you, Elf. You've heard my speech, I gather.
Yes. My house is a bit dilapidated because of these laws. I can't afford to repair it, and even if I could, the architects, engineers, and builders just can't do quality work with the nail tax, and I can barely afford to cast any of my spells with reagents being illegal or simply overpriced because of the taxes.
Well, taxes on magic makes some sort of sense for a lot of people. But still, the Graf... I agree. Your Graf, whoever he is, who called me from all the way from Aldorf to here. Good thing I stopped here before, that these claims are completely illegitimate. And these laws have no foundation in anything. There is no rhyme or reason behind them. I would like to speak to the Graf. Your elder Victor told me that he could be found in Oberstreich, which is not Sterling Manor, like what I was told.
Yeah, I think I heard something about him moving.
And she looks to all three of you. Because we'll assume Clementia is there. She says, well, I've lost my coach. I've lost my protection. The Church of Verena can certainly pay you. If you could, you've already protected me once against the foul undead. I know most of you aren't combatants, but I've heard that the river was the shortest and fastest way to Oberstreich. Mr. Anders, if you will, I would be very grateful, and the church will be willing to pay you for your services. Perhaps to buy you actual healing services. Anders provide you with...
Anders looks to Galarian. As soon as she starts to talk to him, she says, can you row?
I don't have experience, but it doesn't seem terribly complicated.
That's what he said. And look what that got us. That's all right. We'll figure it out. Between the two of you.
There's the things that I do with my hands are usually a little bit more finesse in nature.
Oh. I see.
Oh, no, not what I. No. More like opening doors and that aren't meant to be open, or hearing conversations that aren't meant to be heard.
Oh.
When you mention opening doors that aren't meant to be open, she glares at you and says, I hope none of these doors were barred because you were not supposed to be on the other side.
It's what my master taught me. I'm not going around stealing, if that's what you're implying.
See to it that you do not. Remember, Verena, and you all know that. Well, no, she's going to explain it to you that Verena is the goddess of law, truth, and justice. And she does not suffer criminals or the followers of Ranald very lightly.
I understand. I have a friend who joined your order.
Oh, you have you? Another elf?
No, a human, but a scholar nonetheless.
Well, the path of truth is a noble one. Now, I would need your help as a practitioner of the magical arts. In Oberstreich, I know there are a few resident wizards there, to try to explain to them what is happening regarding the necromancy I've seen on my way here.
Necromancy?
Well, how do you call the recently deceased coming back to life to try to devour the living?
I understand. It just there hasn't been something like that in these parts since I've been here.
No, there has not. We are way too close to the great cathedral of Aldorf and Sigmar's light for any black wizard to practice their foul art this close to the... Anyway, it's very jarring. Gangolf, dear.
Yes.
I've seen you fell these creatures. Twice, I think. You look like a strapping young lad. Would you like to act as my guard on the way down? You and Mr. Anders seem to make a fine team.
Sure, yeah. No, I don't have much work at the moment with the no one really wants things fixed, or so I can do that.
Oh, I'd say bring your tools along this time.
Yes. I just didn't want to lose them last time. That's why I didn't bring them.
A wise move. And you, Fraulein Clementia, I would greatly appreciate the company of another woman, especially one who actually has arms about her. I'll need another.
I can't not do it. Since Anders already thought she was hitting on Rosa, as soon as she says, "I'd love the company of another woman," he looks over and goes, "Huh?"
Mr. Anders, I'm more talking about the fact that Fraulein Clementia here is well equipped to deal with bandits, probably.
Oh, she's well equipped, all right.
What?
And that's how the scene ends. She just like sucks her teeth. And it's like just fade to wherever we're going.
Oh, shit. Before we leave
yes.
this town, I do want to attempt to apply a skill that I have.
Yes.
So the guards, of which I know at least Rosa, and she clearly wants to wife me up. So, I mean, I want to chat with her, and, you know, not to be too gamified here, but I want to use gossip to try to get out of her if there are any guards from the town missing or haven't returned from duty, right? Because the zombies had the same guard uniforms as the guards here.
Yep.
And the attack wasn't too far from here. So it would stand to reason if we're missing guards, someone would know.
And
right?
Gossip is the exact skill that you need for that.
Cool.
So go ahead and roll me Gossip. Basically, the way I make it work before we roleplay anything, so to keep it gamified, is you can ask me one, like you out of game can ask me one question per success level, +1 if you just succeed, period. And then I'll incorporate it in the discussion.
Okay, cool.
And I mean, if the role play doesn't lead to that for a reason or another, I'll just paraphrase it after. So that would be a failure. Would you re-roll?
No, I don't feel like it's that important. Like, I'm pretty sure that guard uniform is not unique to Sledlung, but I feel like it was just a shot in the dark. If there was anyone missing, it's a small enough village that we'd probably notice, I would think. But
yeah, Rosa says that aside from the 5 enforcers stationed here, she doesn't know at all how many more there are. She's never, we're all, what she says basically is, we're all hired on a case-by-case basis. I came, I had skills as a toll keeper, I know how to count, which is more than I can say for about just everybody here. And that's why the Graf stationed me here.
Got it. All right, well, terrific. Thank you very much.
Will you be taking your boat again?
No, not that boat. It's trash.
Will you be taking a boat?
I'd prefer a new boat, yes. The new priestess, we need to travel with her, so top of the line, tip-top boat, and I think that, the church has the cost.
I'll talk to her. And you just avoid paying like 2 silver for a tip-top boat.
You're welcome, me.
You notice, Anders, that when she goes to talk to the priestess just without blinking an eye took 2 silver out of her pouch and gave it to the lady. It doesn't seem like this is like petty change for her. Yeah,
and I think like not in the way that Clementia would, but his eyes just linger on the pouch for like a second. Like, when you're hungry and like someone eats a sandwich in front of you, you're like, oh, I just wish I could have that sandwich. And then he thinks nothing of it and carries on with his day.
It's not like I wanna have what's inside. It's more like I wish I had what's inside.
Yeah.
Galerian's looking at that pouch too, and he looks just a little bit longer than Anders does.
Nice.
Stealing from a priestess of the law.
Well, someone's gonna do it.
If it works, it works. I'm not against anything.
Where is... I'm sorry, I forget his name. Gangolf's lady friend's husband. Where is he?
Flesh Hacker?
Yeah.
Flesh Hacker.
Yeah. Jared Flesh Hacker.
He is the blacksmith, right?
He's the butcher.
Butcher. Shit, not him then. I'm looking for the blacksmith.
There is a blacksmith in town.
Okay. I want to, especially if we're fighting potential undead and or protecting this priestess that's fine enough for me to wear my fine shoes. So I would like to purchase a weapon, if possible.
I don't have that many weapons here, but I have an old short sword I can probably just bang up into shape and repair, and it's a bit blunt these days.
Well, I got this. And he pulls out, like, a fish boning knife.
Yeah, that's not much of a weapon.
Right. And I'm protecting a priestess, so... need something a little bit better than this. And he puts it back in his, like, pouch.
Well, you're doing good, Anders. I'll give you that. Well, for my time and what I'll need to hammer that back into shape, I'd say give me about a day and 10 silver.
What if you don't hammer it back into shape?
You just want a half-broken, blunt short sword.
What does 20 brass pennies get me?
About 4 nails.
Good thing we only need 2, eh?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
make me a charm check, Anders.
got it. Sure. Is there any plus or minus to this?
No. I'm just allowing you to roll charm.
Bad. So he looks at him and goes, "All right.
So
I'll be seeing you."
I'm gonna be a nice DM maybe. You remember you guys looted a leather jacket that you would need to have refitted anyway if you wanted to wear it, right?
Yes.
I didn't take that.
Huh?
I didn't take it.
Oh, you didn't actually take his thing?
No, it was too. I didn't want the priestess to know that I was looting her friends, so I left everything except for the shots because it was all too obvious to take with me.
That's fair.
Oh well, then yeah. If nobody has looted it,
sorry.
Nope, that's totally fair.
Yeah, because otherwise I would have said this is something that you could probably barter with. Given that, where is it? Gosh darn. Armor. I didn't say weapons. I said armor. Oh, armor. There it is. Leather jerkin is still 10 silver. Would have been a fair trade.
Nope, we don't have that either. So he says so he makes the joke about only needing two nails, and then I assume it's like that long awkward pause of a joke just hangs in the air, and he goes, "All right, well, I'll be seeing you." He just turns and walks out of the shop. Oh, shite. And he heads back towards the tavern. What is everyone else doing?
What is everyone else doing to prepare before you leave?
I'm
montage type thing.
Approach the priestess.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I haven't eaten in 2 days. Before we leave, could I get a meal?
Oh, you're asking me. I'm not a cook. I'm not good.
You have coin.
Oh. Well.
I don't mean to intrude, but I haven't eaten.
What's the pity grovel skill in this game?
Begging?
That's rough.
Yeah, it would be begging, but I don't think that's a skill.
Well, there's something in the skill section about begging or in the status section about begging.
Oh yeah, right. I think it's a charm with a bonus because you are part of like the lowest social class.
That's too funny. That's a real roll.
It's roll to beg for food.
Everything in this game.
That's funny.
Yeah, let's make it a charm.
Okay.
A charm test with a what's your social status?
Bronze 3.
Then make a charm test with a plus 10%. Plus 20, I'm sorry, plus 20.
Plus 20? Okay. So how do I modify this?
When you click on your totals, your skill total, like the number, it'll ask you if you want to put in a modifier or anything before rolling.
Okay. And you said 20, correct?
20, yeah.
All right. Yes.
By a
I'm
great margin.
so good at this.
She says, well, come with me. It's rare that I've never heard of an elf grovel for food, but times are tough, and this place is very remote. Come with me. And she leads you in the tavern, the pub, and she buys you a bowl of hot stew with a slice of bread and a pint of new fish ale. That the tavern keeper is just, huh?
Does it taste like stevia? Or LaCroix, that's what it was. That's what you were saying.
That's what it was, yeah. But it doesn't taste like LaCroix. It actually tastes a bit like salty and fishy.
Ah, I see.
It's more than like it's better
I'm
than
hungry.
nothing.
I'm thirsty.
It'll put some hair in your chest, that's for sure.
So yeah, I devour the food, and not in a polite way.
Oh yeah, right, because you have that.
Yep.
She just looks at you in confusion. I guess desperate times. And she leaves you to your eating. It seems that you're bothering her the way you eat. Eat like a peasant dog.
You're just making friends wherever you go, huh?
Low-level people. I mean, she's not really higher than any one of you, but the fact that she's a priestess means that she has access to a lot of things, that a lot of doors that are barred to you are open to her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to do to prep for the road to Reik?
Gangolf?
Am I still robot?
You are, but you're fine.
Okay. I have two things I'd like to do. First thing is I need to go see Rosamund to let her know that I'm off for a while.
Oh. Do you wait for Fleischhacker to be out of his dwelling, his abode, before you approach her, or you don't care if the butcher is home?
No, I absolutely wait for him to be off doing his thing before.
All right. Yeah, he leaves for the market a bit later, maybe like early afternoon.
And yeah, I think I'd just slip in while she's, I don't know, probably just tidying up or something. And
yeah, she's just cleaning the common area of her home, which is like a 2-room house anyway, because peasant.
Yeah.
And she turns about and says, "Oh my, Gangolf, you surprised me."
Rose, I'm sorry I have to be brief, but I've been engaged to protect a priestess.
You're engaged to a priestess?
No, I've been engaged to protect a priestess.
Oh.
I have to protect her on the road, and I must go now.
Will you ever come back?
Yes, I would never leave you by yourself.
Thank the gods, Gangolf, because... And she takes your hands into hers and she says, because I've been thinking the past few nights, when Victor sent you, especially last night when he sent you away. I'm not happy with Jared anymore. Yeah. If I could, I've written to my cousin in Aldorf. She is on good terms with a priest of Sigmar there, and I could probably get a divorce. If you want, we could just leave together, go to Nuln, where you will become an engineer, and we'll live the good life, you and I. Right?
Yes, that sounds wonderful. I wish for nothing else.
Okay, is it because you're robotic sheep right now that it sounds like you're completely dispassionate, or you are dispassionate?
No, it's probably a little bit the robot. Sorry, I have no idea what happened. But.
No, it's okay. I'm just wondering if it's in game that you're like, oh yes, I wish for nothing else.
No, So usually his regular voice is like, oh hey, how's it going? At the moment, if you can't tell through the thing,
you're deepening there.
He's like super like romantic like hero kind of putting it on. So
you definitely put on your man voice to have this conversation.
Yeah.
I just have to ask, how old is this butcher's wife? Because you're like 16, right?
Yeah.
She's 36.
There you go. She
can be your mom.
But he is spry and full of vigor.
Gross.
The butcher is old and rotund and smells of dead meat.
And Gangolf knows how to handle his wood with at least 2 nails.
And what we've learned from chat today is that while the butcher is flesh carver, Gandalf is flesh master.
Look, Gandalf nails anything he can, all right?
At least twice.
At least twice.
That's it. Second
all right, guys.
already. I did
it.
Jerry, come back. This is what happens.
We need someone.
Okay.
So she says, please, Gandalf. I don't even remember what the fuck voice said. Oh, please, Gandalf. Please make sure you come back safely. I heard the roads were dangerous.
Well, I've already been out on the roads once, and it was dangerous, but I survived. Now, Rose, I must go. I must away to my duty. Wait for me. Gandalf away.
The blanket?
Just give me a fucking second.
Blanket around. I will return. Rose.
There's like stitched on the back of it, like, love you, mum.
Yep.
Oh my god. You are... Oh, I do not want you to die in a puddle. But that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Gandalf away is the fucking quote of the day.
And then I'm gonna go to the priestess.
Do you say the same speech?
No. What's her name?
Gertrude.
I lost basically everything about this game already just from that scene. Like, it just pulled out of my head.
It's okay. However, before you get to Gertrude,
okay,
you leave the butcher's house and you see him coming back home, and he sees you coming out of the house, and he looks at you with just a hinge of confusion, surprise, and anger, and says, "Boy, what have you been doing in my house?"
Ah, there you are. What's his name? Gerard?
Gerard, yeah.
Ah, there you are, Gerard. I was looking for you. I was hoping to buy some supplies for when we head off on the road.
Mm-hmm. I see how my wife looks at you.
I don't get it. What do you mean?
You better stay away from my house and my wife. You want to buy meat? You come to me, not her.
Well, yeah, no, I was
He doesn't know a thing about business.
You know, I thought you were home. I came to look for you.
Why? Oh, my stock's at the market. I got my apprentice doing it.
Okay.
Ron's over there. You want to buy anything, you go to him.
Yeah, no, yeah, sorry, sir.
Yeah. I'm watching you, kid.
Okay.
And he just goes back inside his house.
Can't go full way.
And then you reach, Gertrude is in the marketplace, actually, in the town square, and she's purchasing rations for the road. Because she remembered to buy ration for the road.
Mm-hmm.
I can fish.
Hello, Gertrude.
Just making sure. Oh, hi. Gangolf.
Yes.
Right?
So we are supposed to protect you, yes? On the road? Like, I'm happy to protect you, but we need something to protect you with, and we may need to. I think both myself and Mr. Anders, at least, I don't know about Gale, will need. All I have is my daggers. I guess I can, I'm quite handy throwing them. But Anders is going to need something more than a flaming stick.
I wish I could help, truly, but your town lacks a proper weaponsmith. There's nothing much that I can offer. I heard that your elder, Victor, was used to be an adventurer. Maybe he has some of his weapons still handy. Otherwise, even just a dagger and a strong will. I've seen you fell these creatures with a piece of wood and your courage, which is very good. And I mean, dying for the cause of truth and justice is one of the noblest thing one can do.
Well, I would be honored to die for you.
Is your throat okay? Your voice sounded hoarse for a moment.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Well, I'll finish getting my my rations. Do you know when Mr. Anders is going to be ready?
I'm sure it'll be soon.
All right.
Yeah, just if you could ask around and see if you can procure us anything to help protect you, that'd be great.
You guys are trying to leech from that priestess. Poor girl.
We are protecting her, sir. She deserves the best protection.
By protection, it also means like she can just throw you at something to use you as a meat shield.
I'm assuming she's going to do that anyway, so.
But jeez. I'll go for haggle. Make a haggle check, Gangolf.
Oh. Okay. I will re-roll that.
Sure.
Just to try and get better, although I'll probably get worse.
Victor will reluctantly give you, or land give. He's hoping you bring it back, but what can you do if something happens? His old shield. Most of the painting on it has disappeared, but it is a sturdy wooden round shield with a reinforced band of steel around it and a metal sort of buckler in the middle. Okay. So for all intents and purposes, if you look on page 293 of the book, that is a shield. 294, sorry. Shields in Warhammer, they count as weapons because you could attack with them if you wanted to. However, it would use basically your offhand, so unless you're ambidextrous or anything. But what it does is the shield gives you armor on the one arm that you have it equipped, left or right. So this shield would give you 2, so a damage reduction of 2. But it also has the defensive quality, which means that if you are wielding a shield in combat, if you succeed on a check, you automatically get +1 success level. So you don't need to beat your opponent. As long as you equal them, you roll the same thing, or you roll as good as them, you would succeed in blocking because you have a shield. Sort of like a tiebreaker, if you will.
Nice. Simon,
and you can try to pummel people with it if you want it.
I have a question for you, Simon. The guy, was it Victor who gave us the quest to get her?
Victor wanted you to go get her, yeah.
Okay. Didn't he offer a reward, or was it the ring that he gave us ahead of time?
That was the ring.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just want to make sure. I knew you mentioned something, and then I remember the ring happening. So, okay. Yeah. Cool.
He would have paid you, and then Clementia said something about, yeah, well, we might need money to bribe her or something, get her to come. And he's like, well, here, I'm going to give you this. But that's all he had.
Got it. Cool.
Except for the shield.
Well, the shield was hung above his mental place, and it's been there for a while. Now it's not.
I think we're all set then.
Good to go.
And thus you leave Sledlung behind. Galarian, is there anything else you wanted to do except for eating?
Well,
Just
one of the things
sure.
that I meant to ask was I had made a short-term goal for me today was to get a free meal. Yep.
Good job.
Yep.
We'll do that after the stream. Because I forgot to go into short-term goals before we started. So at the end, we'll just say what they are. Remember, if all 3 of you manage to hit your short-term goal today during this session, you all gain a bonus XP in addition to that. So let's just go ahead and Anders and Gangolf, what were your short-term goals? Because now Galarian can help you, achieve them.
Mine is acquire a sword and shield.
You're halfway there.
That's a long-term goal.
Well, I don't have anything. Gangolf has a shield.
Yeah, well, you're getting the shield. Like that's for Anders. Because my goal is to acquire a black powder weapon.
Oh, you're halfway there too.
Yeah, I've got the shotgun pistol, the shotgun things.
All right. So you leave Sledlung by boat, by way of the river. Anders, you've never been as far as Reik on the river. There's no point anyway in going out there. The water is so polluted anyway that the fish you would fish out of the river there would not be suitable for consumption. Yes? Oh,
well,
I just heard...
Gandalf... No.
You're going to have to say that again, because yep. Made the same sounds I made.
Or just type it.
Or type it.
Or in Zoom chat if you can.
Did I cut out or something?
Yeah, you roboted it out.
Yeah, you're back now.
Okay, I'm still roboting.
You're good.
I'm good now?
Yep.
All right, cool. I don't have to type. I was going to say, Gandalf knows that I can be a little bit of a sneak thief. So if someone were to point me in the direction or express a need of, say, a crappy short sword, I might be able to do something about that before we leave.
I don't know that Anders knows you're a sneak thief.
I imagine that Anders would complain about not being able to get the crappy sword.
So I think like if we play that out, he gets back, like once we get together, I assume back at the tavern, right? Where we see Galarian covered in his own soup. At least 10% is on his chest. And he's probably sitting across from of Anders, who has his little. It's like a long, thin, like stiletto, but it's like really bendy because it's a fish deboning knife, right? And so he just seemed like boing, bending it and carving into the table like absent-mindedly, and he's probably just muttering to himself. Then I went to the blacksmith and he said, 20 silver for a bent-up sword. Are you kidding me? 20 silver.
Well,
Anders.
Mr. Anders, you can probably get Gale has ways about him. He can probably help you.
You can magic me a sword, lad.
Not quite, no.
Lower your voice.
You can magic me a sword, lad.
No, I can get into the blacksmith's.
And then make him give me his sword?
Take it without asking. Just borrow it long term.
That's stealing, though.
Not if you're not caught. Yeah.
Solid logic. It works.
I got you.
He goes, you got me. Yeah, I mean, if you can do it without getting caught, I feel like if we're stealing, let me clarify. If you're stealing, it's best not to get caught, especially with the priest of Verena.
Yeah. No, I know.
I feel like she's already not a big fan of yours.
I picked up on that, but yeah.
Subtle. I mean, if you can make it happen, all I have is this.
That's pathetic. I will. I'll do what I can.
At least I can buy my own soup.
You know that the blacksmith is in his smithy. You either would have to wait until nightfall to sneak in, which would be, after the moment that you guys leave, because the priestess wants to go ASAP. So how do you distract? And I'm asking the question to all three of you. How do you distract the blacksmith to let Galarian try to subtly lift a short sword from...
Gangle, if you want to sleep with his wife.
Hey, Anders, you're pretty loud. If you could simply talk to him and get him to focus on you, I could probably wave a hand and make...
I feel like the way you're saying that is...
make things happen.
You're saying it with like a negative.
Oh, no. I just meant you have a certain charm to you that just people can't help but pay attention to you.
I know. Good on you. All right.
Yes.
So I'll talk to him, and you do whatever it is you do that I shouldn't know about, because I will be accomplice to your theft.
Yes.
Good.
Of course.
All right.
Did you happen to see where he was keeping the short sword, or did he simply mention that it was around?
Simon?
Yeah, when he showed you the sword. And then when you told him about the brass pennies, he just took it and threw it in back of him on one of the work tables.
Okay.
Probably amidst a bunch of stuff that, will need to be repaired at some point, but it's not a high priority.
Okay. I think before going, Anders kind of looks over to Gango and he says, the wife bit's plan B.
Wife? What wife?
The wife
Oh,
of
you know about Mrs. Flesh Carver too?
the blacksmith.
The blacksmith has a wife?
I'm sure he does.
And what's the plan with her?
If I mess up, you can put your charm on her.
I can get it.
That's all right. We'll figure it out.
Okay. I'm always willing to help Mr. Anders if I can.
Oh, I know, Gandalf. I know.
So is all of your plans from now on, whatever happens, plan B, Gandalf, bones the wife of...
I think the best part is every time Anders has made like a lascivious joke towards Gango, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Completely stone-faced, like a kid.
I wanna get to the point in the game where it's like, okay, the Beastmen got us outnumbered. We're gonna have to hack away at their chief to scare them away. And if we fail, Gandalf,
sleep with his wife. All right,
Beastman, it is nice to meet you.
It's us and the Graf. We have to get him to rescind these laws. And if we fail, Gandalf, sleep with his wife.
What lovely hooves you have.
She just looks at you like, ah!
Wow, you really know how to speak to a man.
So, all right. Anders, do you have the skill fast talk?
I have swim. So no.
All right, then it's
Is fast talk a
It's an
going
advanced.
to be a gossip check
Yeah,
with
it's an
a
advanced skill.
-10. Oh, I
Gossip.
might come in choppy. My connection
you're
is
good.
apparently unstable.
You're
Oh.
good. Yeah, I have gossip. I have lore and swim. My other ones. But I think I have. Hold on. Where is? Is it this one? What does this one do? Is it this button? Oh, that's the wrong button. Disregard that.
Sure.
If you. So you just like talking to other folks. It seems they like talking to you. You may reverse any failed gossip test if this allows you to exceed. What does that mean again?
So you would invert the numbers. So if you roll a 12, like let's take Gangolf's test that he failed earlier, Haggle. 42, he needed to roll under 35. In your case, you would flip them around and it becomes
24.
24.
Dope.
Yep.
And I can do that anytime I want. That's awesome. That's super.
Oh yeah, forever. It's the equivalent of saying, you've got advantage in D&D.
Cool. All right. Dope. Yeah. Okay. So I'm making a gossip with a -10. You said.
Yeah, you are the gossip master.
Gossip. I mean, not as good as the Flesh Master, but still, nothing to shake a stick at. Yeah, I fucking destroy that number.
All right,
17.
then for whatever it is that Galarian is going to do, I don't know if it's just a sleight of hand or what have you, you are going to have a plus 20% to your check.
And while his connection restabilizes, I think Anders is just talking to him. He's like, okay, so what if we take the handle of this and then we
heck yes?
we put a sword around it? Is that possible? What if I bring you the components? What do you need? Like some silver spoons? What can we melt down? What can I bring you to melt down and just put it in there? Stick, the base, is just wood, right? And he's just like the most outlandish. He has no concept of blacksmithing.
And the smith tries to explain to you over and over that this is not how it works. The silver goes to pay for his time. He doesn't work for free. It's a thing. He has a family to feed, and plus silver doesn't work. Silver is way too brittle.
So if I bring you all the nails out of the boards of a house, melt the boards down.
I could melt them down, but then it would take time. So then you'd have to pay even more for it. I don't think you sort of caught on the.
What if you show me how to do it, and then I do it?
You would need years of apprenticeship.
Anders, it's just a sword. It's one shape.
It's like if I were to tell you it's just a fish, they all taste the same.
I mean, around here they do.
Is my internet better?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh yeah. So
Okay.
How do you do it?
Okay, so are we like in a shop and it's just like the three of us or whatever? Or?
Think about the like open air blacksmith, like smithy. So it's there's like a sort of gazebo, if you will, and with the anvil, the furnace, and all that.
Are there a lot of people around?
Not really. It's not market day today anyway, so it's
Okay. If I were to cast sleep on this guy and, come up behind him and cast sleep on him, would he be able to roll an opposed check, or would I just be able to cast a spell since he has no idea what's happening?
So because it's a touch spell, right?
Yes.
So what I would do is I would ask you if you can come up with him behind him. So, for example, stealth check to come up behind him, and then you would touch him for free because he doesn't have. But if he does hear or see you, then it would be an opposed check because you're just lunging at him with your hand, basically chloroforming him.
Okay. Oh man, so many rolls.
Remember, you got a plus 20.
Yes. So here's my stealth check. I am going to use the thing.
I hope. Would you like to stumble and fall into a forge? Yes, fortune.
Okay. Let's
Hope that it will.
Dear God. Let's see here.
Well then. Just a second, my friend. We are
You rolled up a second character, right?
We're gonna have to do a thing here called fumbling. And fumble is on 174.
Wow.
I always said games.
It might not be that bad. Who am I thinking?
You frozen in a perfect position as well, just like, oh god.
So there's another thing you could do that would be to burn a permanent fate point. But I don't think that's something you want to do, realistically. I can't find the table. So let's say it's just going to be a very, very bad
broken nose. Oh, it's a head. Oh wait, what? How do you roll the critical tables?
It depends on what it is.
Oh, God.
It's a dramatic test, blah blah blah. Critical and fumbles. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, I'm reading the.
It's just I'm trying to find. There's
on 170.
Oh, it's on 170. I was 2 pages too far. And I kept scrolling down.
A fortune,
yeah, you can re-roll a failed check.
You add a success level to a. Yeah, I re-rolled a failed check, and it gave me a +1 to success level.
No. It's you do either one of these three.
Yeah.
Nope. All right. Okay. I was hoping that would get me out of the fumble.
So here's what's gonna happen. We'll say that you stumble over. You'll manage to both hit the guy with your spell, because this is what you wanted to do. But your check, it's when you went to grab the sword, it is not as blunt as the blacksmith said. And you cut your hand on the sword, and you're going to take 5 points of damage minus your toughness bonus. So I don't know what your toughness bonus is, the first digit of your toughness.
It's gonna be like 3.
My bonus is 34.
Okay,
or, sorry, 3. 3
That's okay. So you lose 2 wounds. You take 2 wounds
for the team. 2 wounds. Okay.
Yeah, picking up. So you've got the sleep, you've got everything, but you did damage your hand in the process. So as you're talking to him, Anders, you notice this very tall elf come in, bang his head on one of the posts that hold the ceiling up. As he does so, he just pushes on the poor blacksmith. You notice that Gale's hand is like covered in this gray fog mist, like if he pulled his hand out of dry ice. And he just touches the blacksmith on the shoulder. The blacksmith instantly falls asleep. Gale picks up the sword, yells out in pain, but runs away. And the blacksmith, of course, knocking his head on the counter, wakes up and says, Oh, I think the heat's affecting me. Where were we?
Are you okay? You took a little bit of a spill there.
I think I'm gonna have to take it easy for the rest of the day.
I think
I'm
you
sorry,
should
lad.
close up shop. It's okay. It's all right. I'm understanding that it's not going to happen for me today.
No, it's not.
I'll come back. We'll renegotiate. It's a different deal, perhaps.
Good day, Anders.
Have a good one. And he turns and walks out back towards the tavern.
Professional thief.
Right? I'm a wizard.
Oh man.
I mean, it's awesome.
It's like watching Gandalf in the Hobbit hole, just bumping into stuff.
So this short sword, this very, very blunt short sword, it counts as a hand weapon. It has an encumbrance of 1. So on your sheet, you have a thing to keep up encumbrance.
Yeah.
It calculates it automatically. You're allowed a certain numbers, so you just add 1 number to that. And it'll tell you at some point. Basically, the way encumbrance works is when you're like too encumbered, it just means that you can't move your arms around. You can't realistically have like 6-7 weapons on you. It just doesn't make sense.
Got it.
The damage it does is strength bonus +4. So whatever successes you have plus your strength bonus +4. But it also has a flaw called undamaging.
I disagree. You see my hand here.
Yeah, undamaging what it does is if you hit someone that's wearing armor, their armor counts as double.
Mm.
Okay.
But as long as you're cutting flesh, it's gonna cut just fine.
Who's the flesh master now? Okay, cool. That works.
No, that makes you the flesh carver. You better keep an eye on your wife.
You can hack.
You're gonna watch out.
And I assume you take off.
Yeah.
Towards Ubersreik on your boat.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ask you for a row check. You're going downriver anyway. Things are fine, and your boat is sturdy, and you're making good time. You camp out one evening, and you get up. Sorry, I was reading my notes at the same time. You get up in the morning, you re-embark on the boat, and you keep going down. And that's when you notice about midday on the second day, you're about a third to a half of the way to Ubersreik. There is something blocking the river. It's an area where the river is a bit more shallow. You might have to drag the boat a bit, but in this instance, the river is barred by a dead horse and its dead rider, who is completely stark naked. And that's where we're going to end for tonight.
Oh boy.
I don't know what to do with that. What a weird way to end. What a weird sight to see at the end of an episode. I love it.
It rounds off the episode nicely for a weird episode.
It does. For what we've managed to accomplish today, a naked zombie cliffhanger is. I think that's the best we're gonna get today. That's it.
Oh, it's not a zombie. It's dead.
All right, yeah. So just a naked dead person.
Yep. It's Gandalf. Flesh Carver got to him.
That's true. That's what'll happen. It's like the middle of Mad Max when he puts him off on the horse with the big helmet thing.
Just to add, there is plenty of blood on the shore of the river.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
And that's where we're gonna end for real.
I'm about it. So guys, that was episode 2. Enter Verona. I'm pretty excited. Like I said before, this game is super weird in the scape of like my normal tabletop games that I play system wise. There's a role for drinking, which I didn't expect. There's a role for begging, which is pretty cool. It's a comfortable amount of crunch in this game, and I've never felt more like a peasant before in my life. So that's an interesting thing you could say about tabletop games. That being said, let's do our introductions. Let's go host our friends, and we'll start with Simon. Simon, who are you? Where can we find you? And what are you up to?
I'm Simon at Wandering_DM on Twitter, Wandering DM on Twitch. You can find me every day of the week streaming if it's not here on unMadeGaming on Thursdays. I am on my channel every other day of the week except for Sunday, where we are on Soul Bear RPG playing a D&D 5th edition. We're going to actually introduce Stronghold and Follower, the book by Matt Colville, in this campaign, where we're all gonna get our own houses and shit. It's gonna be amazing. And otherwise, I have a Dark Matter game on Mondays. We have Star Wars on Tuesdays. We have Witcher on Friday. Pulp Cthulhu, an Old West horror game on Saturday, starting this Saturday, so in 2 days from now. And that's it. Thanks for having me, and we'll see you next week.
Of course. Let's go to our returning hero and... hold on, I'm sorry. Our returning hero and arguably MVP. I had to change my voice for you. Sheepdog. Sheep, who are you? Where can we find you? And what are you up to?
Hey there, guys. I'm Sheepdog. You can find me if you look for me, and I'm up to RP stuff and voice changing. Roboting, high voices, young men, heroic heroes, you know, I'm Batman, all that kind of stuff.
Perfect. And finally able to join us for the second episode and all of the ones going forward. Vecna, who are you? Where can we find you? And what are you up to?
Hi, yes, I'm Justin. I work with Mage Hand Press as the community manager, and we make books. They're fun, totally not biased. And so, like, we actually did Dark Matter. It was our first Kickstarter. Hit all of our goals. It's awesome. Everyone that's read the book has told me it's hand in that. And if you know, we also have a number of our books on Drive-Thru RPG, and yeah, that's me.
Sweet. For those of you who couldn't interpret that robot, the gist of it is go check out their games on Drive-Thru RPG. And go check out the new game. It is D&D in space, which is pretty dope. So give that a look. Dark Matter. That being said, we are out of here for the night, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being here for the shenanigans and getting through all of this with us. We're going to go raid our friends, Tales from the Grim, our good buddy Grimjack21502. He is playing Dungeon of the Mad Mage. And if you guys want to help us out here, please go check out our Patreon. And if you guys want to be part of the conversation, please go check out our Discord. That is the communal hub. And we will see you guys next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.